talk about the one cigar brand that every single person loves to and moan about. I'm going to really upset some people with this one today. But after many years that I've been smoking cigars, the vast array of cigars that I get to sample, I think it's about time I put in my 50 pence. But of course, today I'm going to be talking and smoking Gurkha Cigars. So let's run the intro, and let's get on with it.
We interrupt this program to bring you an important announcement.
Of course, by now, you know me. I ain't doing anything before I light up this cigar. So, of course, with us being the land of the crown, I've gone with a crown cut. That's where you take a V-cut, cut it one way, turn the cigar 90 degrees, cut it another. Now, there's a reason I'm finally sitting down and doing this video, because I feel like it's a topic that needs to be discussed. It's a topic that, for as long as I've been smoking cigars, has been discussed. And, you know, we always have the same stereotypical conversations across social media space. Cuban versus New World. We always have this conversation. And you know what? I love it, because I love hearing people's different opinions on why. And why do you prefer this? Why do you smoke that? But the one other opinion that you'll come across quite a bit, and to be honest, I've never really understood why, because I've had one bad one in my entire cigar smoking career, is people absolutely love to hate on Gurkha. I never really understand why. Now, before people get really upset and get in the comments and start hating on us and start hating on me about Gurkha, which people always do on social media, this video is solely based on facts from the history of the brand itself and what was happening at the time, and mine personal opinion. We are all entitled to it. But if you've been a follower of this channel for a while, you know the different kind of cigars I get to smoke. And it's an honor and it's an absolute privilege that I get to do it with smoking. I smoke some really high-end, top Cuban, some of the best cigars, Cuban cigars on the market. But I also get to sample some of the really cheaper, more affordable sticks and everything else in between. So I think out of everybody, I have the right to sit down and do this video, because I have smoked literally a vast array of everything on the market. Now, when it comes to Gurkha, I feel like it's a trend which came about and people are still grasping onto its clutches and not allowing it to go. Because if you like Gurkha, like myself, you love Gurkha. They create some fantastic cigars, which I'll go on to in a little bit. But it almost seems to be cool or a trendy thing to hate on this particular cigar brand. Now, the main reason why I'll never understand this is, especially with smoking, is probably our largest range that we have. If you walk into our New World humidor, we have such a vast array of some amazing cigars. But the biggest collection is Gurkha. We've probably got close to 30, maybe more, different blends from that brand. Now, you're telling me out of 30 plus different blends, there's not a single one there that you like? Come on. I kind of see why this tone of voice about this brand would have come about 10, 15 years ago. little bit of a brief history on Gurkha. It was in 1989 that it was reborn. Gurkha have been going for well over a century. I think it's probably close to 130 years now. But it was reborn back in 1989. And the owner at the time had no idea about the cigar boom during the 90s, late 90s and early 2000s that was going to happen. He almost chose to revive the company at the perfect timing. And the problem is, especially across the US, the UK, and Europe, and everywhere else in the world, the sheer demand for cigars overpowered the cigar companies. And the cigar companies couldn't generate and make these products fast enough. And it came as a shock to everybody. Retailers were buying and getting anything they could get their hands on just so that they had something to sell, because the demand for cigars was massive. Now, at the time, because of that, a lot of companies would lower the quality of craftsmen or rush the production and reduce the sales price to go to other retailers, especially in the US. It was more of a get the cigars out the door, get a sale kind of thing. And Gurkha was one of those companies. I think over in the US, you could probably pick up a Gurkha stick at that time for around about $4. So it's almost known as being that budgeter-friendly stick. It still is a very affordable cigar company, which is what I love the most about them. But because they lowered their quality and they lowered their attention to detail, they created this name for themselves of being really cheap and really budget and not an all-round great cigar. So it gained this reputation for being a really cheap, really budget, and the kind of cigar that you kind of buy, put it in your mouth, light up, forget about it, not think about it, and it might fall apart on you. Which a lot of other companies did at the time. It wasn't just Gurkha that did this. But a lot of things have changed over the years. Gurkha have had so many cigars that have been rated over 90 by Cigar Aficionado. They've really upped their game. They've really come back with a vengeance over the years. And to be honest, of all the Gurkhas I've smoked, and that's a lot, I've probably had like one bad one, which I won't name because it was down to flavour profiles and it might just not have been the right palate for me. But I know for a fact the Gurkha brand is probably one of our biggest selling brands here at Smoking, and that sheer amount that we're putting through the door and sending out every single month to our amazing customers, we all can't be wrong. Personally, I'm a massive lover of Gurkha. I think they tick all the boxes. They have some of the best presentation on the market, hands down. All you have to do is go look at the Royal Challenge. Personally, for me, that cigar looks so nice. I hate lighting it up, yet it's a really affordable cigar. They taste absolutely beautiful, and you know, you might smoke one and say, this wasn't really for my palate like there has been for me, but doesn't mean I write off the entire brand. There's so many available, they're guaranteed to have something for you. Personally, for me, the Cellar Reserve range, absolutely fantastic. And one of my favorite ones, which we smoked with Stephen Ruff of the Enthusiast podcast back over here last year, was the Pure Evil. Maybe not the best presentation, not the best looking band on a cigar, but one of the greatest tasting ones that I've ever had. And in my top 5 cigars that I've reviewed on this channel of all time is the Gurkha Seduction. And that thing at the time of filming was like £11.50 for a Robusto. And I would still say it's the best Gurkha I've ever smoked. It was incredible. And the big main thing I think that comes with Gurkha and hating on Gurkha, or people sitting down to smoke a Gurkha cigar, is people allow an online influence or opinion or a trend to already set the foundations to their smoking session. Great example is this, is every cigar I sit down to smoke on this channel, I do not look into until about the second, third, where I start talking to you about the construction. In our videos, when I say, let's talk about the construction cigar, that's the first time I look at that cigar. I never look at the blend. I know the size because of the amount of cigars I smoke these days. I can pick this up and know it's a 6x54. Like I can pick it up and know it. But other than that, I never look at it. I never look at anybody else's reviews. If anybody comes up to me and goes, oh, you've got that to smoke, I've had this, I'm like, Look, talk to me after. I don't want anything influencing my smoking session and my cigar session. So I think people see these trends online and hear Gurkha is bad and Gurkha is evil. And if you know, you'll get the pun. And they're terrible construction. They don't taste great. From online cigar snubs. And I think people go and buy that Gurkha cigar to try it, already going into that session thinking they're not going to like it. Now, I don't know about you, but if I'm going into, say, sitting down and eating a meal, if I'm thinking I'm really not going to enjoy this meal, I'm not going to enjoy it. It could taste absolutely fantastic, but in my mind, I've already made my decision. That meal is going to be disgusting, and people do the exact same thing with Gurkha cigars. So, if there's a little bit of advice for someone who's been in the cigar industry, around cigars, and reviewed countless amount of cigars, if I can give you any kind of advice, is don't listen to everything everyone has to say about the cigar. Now, the irony of this is I review cigars to help you pick your next best one. But try and stay away from negativity. Because I will openly admit, if we go back 4 or 5 years, I truly believed Gurkha was not a good company. Because that's what I allowed to hear. I heard it on social media. I heard it on YouTube. I'd hear it all the time on TikTok. I'd hear it in other people's reviews. And I went into this whole thing thinking, oh, Gurkha's not good. And I never sampled one. I wouldn't even give it the time of day. I never bought one. I didn't see the point because I thought it was going to be crap and I weren't going to enjoy it. And then I started at Smoke King. And one of the very first cigars they gave me to smoke was a Gurkha. And it blew me away. It was flawless. And I got so mad and so angry at myself that I'd been smoking cigars for about 4 or 5 years before this, and I never gave them the time of day, and I was so mad on some of the beautiful cigars I've potentially missed out on. Luckily, smoking helped and opened my eyes, and since then I've smoked so many different kind of Gurkhas. I'm on a mission to work my way through the range, and I've had one bad one, but there's one bad one for me. It was great construction. It lit up beautifully. The draw was incredible. I just personally didn't like the taste of it. And that's fine. Didn't like that one, that's fine. I'll go give this one a try. It's like this one I'm smoking right now. It's absolutely beautiful. It tastes great. The burn's a little bit squiffed, but nothing that it won't rectify itself by placing this bit at the top. The draw is really open. The cap's flaking a little bit, but I might have not been having that much of a steady hand when I cut the cap. But the biggest thing with Gurkha is they are an affordable cigar. And people have to remember they are an affordable cigar. If you're going to go and spend, not this one exactly, but if you're going to go and spend £14-15 on a cigar, you can't expect £100 to £150 quality. You're not going to get that. It's like buying a Fiat Punto and expecting a Ferrari quality. It's not going to be that. You've bought a £14-15 cigar, expect a £14 or £15 cigar. If you spent £30 on a cigar, expect £30 cigar, and you should expect a little bit higher quality, to be honest. If you're a big baller and you're spending £60-70 on a stick, you could expect really good, really high quality because you're paying for that. The thing that people need to do the most, and this isn't just relevant to Gurkha, it's relevant to the cigar industry as a whole. Set and judge your expectations. I know this is a really affordable cigar, so I don't care if it's got a bit of a squiggly burn and I've got to touch it up. I'm not really bothered that the cap is flaking off because it's a very affordable cigar and it is what it is. It's still a great cigar. It's smoking beautifully. It tastes great. For anybody who wants to know, this is the Gurkha Ghost Connecticut Ashura Toro cigar. It is coming in at 6x54 ring gauge and it is mild. It definitely is mild. It's pairing beautifully with the coffee that I've got to the side of me right now. This would make an absolutely great mid-morning smoke. If you're brand new to smoking cigars, it's a great blend. If you're like me, you've been smoking cigars for years and you just want something really nice on the palate, really light, it's fantastic. So we have an Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper, we have a Mexican binder, and mixed fillers from the Dominican Republic, Nicaraguan, and the S. So that's a really great construction, long filled cigar. So it's really high quality. So that's it. That's my rant. It's over. It needed to be said. For anybody who's hating on Gurkha, this video is aimed directly at you, is to sort yourself out. Go give one of them a try. We have over 30 here available with us at Smoking. We can guarantee to find you something that you're going to enjoy. And if you're brand new to smoking cigars, this video is also aimed at you. Don't allow anyone to influence your opinion on a cigar before you've even bought it. The irony is brilliant. If you want to try Gurkha cigar, go give them a try and guarantee they won't let you down. I'm a huge fan of them. Most people here at Smoking are a huge fan of them. I know Jono is, I know Paul is, I know Claire loves them. People are going to hate. Let them hate. Been a little bit of a different video. There was that was just eating at me, and I'd seen a few pieces of video and a few pieces of content across YouTube of some people just being really negative towards the brand, and I don't get it, and I had to get this off my chest. Of course, hit that subscribe button, enable your notifications. We post twice a week, once on a Tuesday, once on a Friday, both at 7 PM and every single day over on our shorts. Of course, we're on every single platform on social media. They're all down in the description below, so go give us a follow. I've been James, we've been Smoking, this has been a rant and a half, and I'll see you in future videos. Catch you next time.